Pugh, that'll do it! That will do it! Pugh for Bournemouth! The roof of the Gold Sands is raised! Everyone here knows what that could mean to this football.
Hello, Bournemouth fans. Hope you are doing okay. I certainly am. Well, late on in the game, I was doing all right. It was another match where the script was rewritten fairly late on, but unlike our match against Watford on Saturday, today Bournemouth turned a draw into a win at Dean Court with the introduction of Arnaut Danjuma. He came on to really good effect and gave us an attacking edge that was missing throughout most of the game, let's be fair. Bournemouth now got up to second in the table, and on this free-for-all, we're going to be online for the next 45 minutes, straight hour or so, and we're going to be chatting cherries. If you want to get involved, the link is at the bottom of the screen. It's afcbpodcast.com/take part. Try to sit still in a room, put some headphones in your device, and as long as I can see your face on camera, then I'll bring you in as soon as I can. I want to get through as many Bournemouth opinions as possible. We've got Dylan Williams, Morgan Scott and Billy Day standing by. But firstly, right here next to me is Thomas Jordan. How are you, mate?
Yeah, pleased now after the end of the game. So, yeah, relieved as well.
How are your legs after football on Monday?
Oh, absolutely fine. I'm fit as a fiddle and affected me whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it hasn't for you. It looked like the Bournemouth players were a bit leggy, though, today, didn't it? Because we didn't start off very well. I mean, the first half was one of the poorest halves of football I think I've seen in a long, long time.
It was frustrating, and we were saying, weren't we? We haven't been starting games too well, which is a bit of a concern, something that JT, I'm sure, will be looking at. I think you've always got to put into consideration the opposition, and I don't watch Bristol City, so I don't know if they were brilliant in the first half, because they certainly didn't look the best in the second. But no, it never really, I don't think they were brilliant either. Begovic made a few good saves, but we just never really got going, and I was happy to come in 0-0 and just think, right, JT, get into them and let's come out second half, which fortunately we did.
What do you think of the lineup when you saw it at 6:45? Yeah,
I was relatively happy. I kind of, I saw a few things I lied about. Rico's been playing really well, but I think you've got to remember the amount of games you've got coming up. I think I said the other week that I'm not going to read too much into it because we're just going to have to rotate all the time. There's games every few days, and we've got to keep that squad fresh. We don't want to be picking up too many injuries. So I kind of understood that, maybe taking Rico out, and then obviously Lerma was forced. Goals come in, fill in, and Dom was coming. Yeah, I looked at the team and thought it's a very good team, and we've got good players on the bench. So I was relatively happy, and yeah, I don't think the team selection was a problem. And when you've got players on the bench like Arnie, you've always got a game changer, and that is just proved itself again tonight.
And he took the place of Junior Stanislas, and there were a number of players that I don't think you wouldn't label them poor, but they weren't great. And I think Junior was probably one of them as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, me and you were saying while we were watching the game that, we need to get Arnie on. We need a bit of Arnie magic. And we both said that probably Junior's the right man to come off. I mean, I really like Junior, and you always feel like he obviously close with a free kick. You always feel like he's got that. But I didn't think it was one of his better games. I didn't, like you said, I don't think anyone was horrific tonight, but there was a few players that were pretty average, and he was probably one of them. So I thought the change was the right one, and JT, that must be the ideal thing for a manager. You bring on a player, say, go and make something happen. And you just know that with Arnie, you can do that. I mean, Norwich game, he got the winner. Blackburn game, he done it at the end. And he's got that in him. And the way he took the goal, and also mentioned Dom Solanke with another assist.
Yeah, another assist. I thought Dom did all right tonight, and it'd be interesting to get people's opinions on him. And Bristol City, they're a team that started flying high. Them and Reading were, almost sparring for the position of top spot, but they've died off a little bit recently. What did you think of them tonight? Because I thought they were okay, but they were just another sort of average Championship side. But we were playing pretty average as well. It was a poor first half. We came out a lot better in the second, and 1-0 maybe based on the possession in the second half perhaps flattered them a little bit, because we should have notched earlier than that as well.
Yeah, I think it probably, from our perspective, we know that we weren't very good first half, and they still, yes, Begovic made a few good saves, but they still I didn't feel like we should have been 2 or 3 down, and we were poor. So I wasn't impressed with Bristol City, and it almost felt like at half time at 0-0, Tyndall's gone, we've got to sort this out, and their manager's gone, hang on for the draw. You saw it just before our goal. They took off their striker and brought on a defensive player. And then we ended up scoring there to change it again. But they look like, I think we've got I said this to you during the game, I think we've got to look at it sometimes that a lot of teams now are going to be looking at us, especially away from home, and going, if we can go to Bournemouth and get a point, that'd be a great result. Yeah. So we're going to be asked questions about, can we open teams up? And I think that's where, when the likes of Brooksy comes back, we're going to need that. And you are going to need people that can just Danjuma comes on, he just runs at players. And you need that sometimes because we're trying to be a bit too precise, I thought, sometimes with our passing and things like that. We kept half of the puff, and I thought the left-hand side, Kelly was bombing on really well. With Smithy obviously naturally coming in, it meant Kelly was getting beyond. But I didn't think Jack in particular was quite as effective on the right tonight. He's been brilliant for us. I love Jack. He wasn't awful, but it seemed to be a lot down the left tonight. And I think we just got to mix it up sometimes. Lewis at times, or I thought played well, but occasionally was trying the precise pass. Figure, let's just keep the ball for a little bit. Let's open them up a different way. But again, it's a team that have sat back to try and get a point in the second half, and we've got the armoury to be able to break them down, and that's a great. Without being brilliant, we've done the job again, and we still haven't lost. And I
was getting a little bit frustrated with Josh King. So many times he seemed to be trying to do little flicks, whereas we just needed to retain possession. And it felt, especially in the first half, we just weren't holding the ball. And, Dom Solanke couldn't do it. Josh King couldn't. In the second half, we were better at that. But Josh King, he didn't have his greatest game, but he's quite good that we've got the 3 points in the grander scheme of things. Junior Stanislas didn't have a great game, but their fitness is going to be improved, and we've got 3 points at the same time. So it's a good run out. I mean, Junior Stanislas played a good 75 minutes there. So overall, we've got to be quite happy with, he's certainly with the result tonight. Maybe not the performance, but in terms of the overall fitness of the players that are, slowly coming back, it's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, I think there's aspects of both. There's lots of things we need to work on. We certainly need to be starting games better. But like you say, we've pulled it out of the bag without being brilliant. I think that's a good point you make. You look at people like Josh King, Junior Stanislas, they didn't have good games tonight, and we still won, and we were still the better team in the second half. And some of our players that you'd expect to make things happen didn't actually do much. Yeah. I think the only thing I will say about Josh is he's just started 2 games in a row when he hasn't played. I know he's had appearances for Norway. What I am pleased with, he doesn't look like he's dropping. He's working hard. He's trying. Maybe occasionally I felt he was trying to do things a little bit too difficult, but that'll come. You can see if he gets provided with the right things, he's a good player. But yeah, we got the job done at the end of the day without being brilliant. We improved second half, which was we couldn't be a lot worse. And like I say, we've brought on someone off the bench who's just went and pulled out of the bag, and that's a great thing to have. And we just keep going on, mate. JT don't lose football matches. We're absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. And I'm just so relieved that we're going to have such positivity on here tonight. Look at everyone. Everyone's looking so happy. Everyone. Look at Billy there. He's smiling away. He can't wait to be buzzing again. We're invincible. By the way, you're saying about Josh making a few flicks and tricks. If people watch the pod of our game, I can't really comment on that. I love an old flick. Just a little flick. So, I mean, it means then you don't have to try and hold it up and run around. Just do a little flick. If it comes off, it looks good.
This guy, on Monday, you'll see the video. We've vlogged it. We've vlogged us playing 6-a-side. That's the only match day vlog we can do these days. Cheeky back heel, hit the post. I mean, how many goals did you score that night? 7 or 8?
Yeah,
it felt like it.
I'm trying to be modest there. No, I think, if the back heel had come off, that was my own impression. But no, it's it's good to just be positive. Like you say, at half time, it was a little bit down and dumps, a bit like QPR and things like that. But we're getting over the line, and like I say, when I look at Reading, who have been unbelievable, but I look at the squads, and I think that's where we've got so much of an edge on teams when things ain't going right, and you go, all right, let's bring Danjuma on. Do you know what I mean? And then Saturday we could go, Brooks is back. We haven't even seen what Raquel can do. Lerma's out. Do you know what I mean? We've got so many options there, and make case for again, Begovic looks like a new signing, unbelievable. And once again, I think since the start of the season, we haven't let a goal at home. And mentioned to Steve Cook tonight. Every time they got forward, we were saying, weren't we? How we saw that stat that he's one of the only defenders that hasn't been dribbled past this season. So I mean, every time they got forward, it was Cook's there again, Cook's there again. He was brilliant as well. So as much as we talk about how it didn't quite go together defensively tonight, I thought we were spot on. So it's positive signs, but clearly things to work on, and JT will get that.
Which is a good thing to have when you've got 3 points in the bag, isn't it?
Definitely.
Tej, thank you very much, mate.
Good to see
really
you, mate.
Appreciate it. That's Tom Jordan. He's loving life, and I'm sure if you subscribe to this channel right now, and also give this video a thumbs up if you can, because Tom's also going to be back with the player ratings, and that's going to be tomorrow, joined by a special guest. And we're going to hear more from him about what he thought. Right, I'm going to get through as many people as I possibly can, and if you want to get involved, the link is below. Loads of people waiting. We'll say hello firstly to Ethan, because it's quite late, and we'll say a quick hello. Ethan, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Not too bad at all. Thanks for asking. 1-0 then. Did you think the goal was coming?
I didn't think the goal was really coming at first, but a goal's a goal, really.
He's won us so many points. We were 2-2 against Blackburn. He scores to make it 3-2. So he's basically got 2 points extra from the draw there. He wins us the 3 points against Norwich. So that's, obviously a draw into a win. And now he's turned up again. What a player he is. Who else do you think stood out for you tonight in a Cherry shirt?
King did as well. I think Steve Cook as well. Brilliant defending as well.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, I completely think so. But the first half, I mean, I don't know about you, Ethan, but I haven't seen many poorer halves at Dean Court for a long time.
Yeah, terrible, really.
Yeah. It's clear that we were missing someone like Jefferson Lerma in the middle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about when he might be back?
Yeah, he was going to be out for 7 to 10 days with a hamstring injury. So.
Well, it's pretty good that we've got through a match against, one of the bigger sides, or one of the sides that's up there, and we've got a win. And I think, also, I'd like to ask you a question about Asmir Begovic, Ethan, as well. I mean, what did you think of his performance today?
Quality as well. Kept us in the game as always. Quality saves as always as well.
Brilliant. All right, mate. Well, we're going to cycle through as many people as we can, but thank you very much for coming on, Ethan. Really appreciate it. It is late in the night. Thank you very much. That is a Cherries legend, Ethan Burney. Right, we're going to fill this chat up as quick as we can. So I'm going to bring in Morgan Scott. Morgan, how are you?
Positive ways. We're second in the table. Is it too early to say that we might be going up to the Premier League?
Yeah, a little bit early. We'll see what Dylan says as well. Dylan is here too. And also we've got Billy Day here as well. Toby's standing by. So Dylan, I'll come to you. And by the way, if you've sent us chat messages, we will get them on screen throughout the show. Dylan, mate, what do you think of tonight?
First half, poor is probably the only word for it. But second half, we kicked on, got the goal, and we deserved it. Danjuma, what a player.
Oh my goodness, mate. I mean, absolutely superb. He came on, and one thing I just find with Danjuma is that he has a go. His ball retention is pretty good. Even when he loses it, he gets the ball back quite quickly. And obviously he knows how to finish. Now, compare what Arnaut Danjuma did with what Josh King did about 3 minutes before that when Solanke set him up. His touch was really bad and it went straight back to the keeper. But Danjuma has just got that turn of pace, hasn't he? And it was a great finish, wasn't it, Dylan?
Yeah, I think King was poor today, to be honest. Just very lackluster. Didn't really seem to do much. Lost the ball more than he actually, profited with it in my eyes. But a win's a win.
Yeah, a win is a win. And digest 1-0. Chris Hubble is happy with the win. Epic win there. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Steve Cook, captain, fantastic. Steve Cook, I've got to say, man of the match display. You've got to say he was absolutely sublime. Chris said exactly the same thing. Keith, happy days, fellow Cherries. Far more satisfying than try to set up my work laptop. Hopefully you've got it set up so you can come along a bit later on in the stream, Keith. Fingers crossed. Oh no, later on he says not on tonight. All right, mate, no worries at all. James Whitehurst, hope you're well, mate. HMS pissed the league. It's still going on. John, different game when Danjuma came on. And I could go through more of these. I'll pop them on the screen throughout. Billy, happy?
Doesn't it feel great to have the winning feeling back again? It really does. After we had the poor performance against QPR, we had the giveaway against the Cardiff, but we got the point back against Watford. But I was just thinking, after the first half, I was just like, can we play Coventry every week? But no, it does feel great. Exactly as Danjuma just comes on and he just changes the game. Absolutely fantastic tonight. But yeah, it just feels great, doesn't it? Second in the league, just sit back and enjoy it.
Morgan, we obviously message a fair bit sort of outside the game and stuff, and obviously we knew that Lerma was going to be a big loss for us tonight. How do you think Lewis Cook and Dan Gosling coped in the centre of midfield there today?
To be honest with you, obviously with Lerma playing more attacking this season, it's always going to be a difficult to lose Jefferson. But as Ethan mentioned earlier, he's only out for 7 to 10 days with what seems a minor issue. So hopefully he'll be back within the next week or so. But in terms of Dangle and then Lewis Cook, I thought they didn't do a bad job. I thought Danglin he was looking a little bit leggy towards the end. I thought they might make a sub and bring him off and maybe bring Bill in on. But I thought he showed a lot of fight, with Dangle, and he's always trying to lose onto ball and win back the possession. And Lewis Cook, I think Lewis Cook is getting better and better every time we see him, if I'm honest, because he had a shot, and it was in the 65th minute, and it was the first shot that we had on the keeper goal in the second in the whole of the game. So yeah, I thought the midfield was really compact. I'm not going to sit here and say this is the best performance Bournemouth have ever played, because by far it wasn't. I think we were lucky to get the point. Danjuma, obviously quality that he can come on, but it's very, very. You shouldn't be relying on subs to come on and make an impact. Although that's a really good factor to the game, we should be, if we want to get back to the Prem playoffs, whatever, we need to be playing the game, especially at Dean Court. I know they haven't got fans or anything. Same team. We can't make the excuses, but I really think that Bournemouth need to start better in games, as Tom and people were mentioning at the start of the show today, because if we don't do that, we can get caught out like the QPR game.
Billy, Rob I just posted this on, by the way, Access Advisor, do check it out, good YouTube channel and website, so have a look at that. He said second half without yet reaching our full potential, and that's quite a good sort of way to look at it, because first half we were crap, second half we were good, but not brilliant, yet we still had the cutting edge and looked more like scoring, and then we did come up trumps in the end. So it's quite a positive for JT to win when we're not playing well, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he said to him in the second half, but didn't we come back fighting? I mean, it was just fantastic to see Danjuma just come on and just change the game. I mean, as Tom said earlier, Stanislas, he wasn't at his greats tonight, but obviously you have to make the impact sub, and Danjuma did it right. I thought Solanke was brilliant with another game with an assist, and Josh King, he was all right. He wasn't at the Josh King we know that he was fantastic, but Josh King, he got the job done. That's what I feel.
Yeah, brilliant. And lots of mentions for Steve Cook here on chat. And if you want to get your message in, I'll get it up on screen. Billy, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
No worries,
very nice to see you once again.
And
cheers, buddy. Dylan, who was your man of the match tonight, and how would you rate the team performance? I'll give you a chance to rate the first half and the second half separately, because I think we need to.
First half, I'll probably give it a 4 out of 10. I mean, we were lucky to still stay in it. I mean, when they had that chance when the Bristol City player lost the ball, but it went over our defence's head. If Kelly hadn't gotten away at that ball, I feel it probably would have been 1-0 to Bristol City, and the would have been a lot different, and we would have ended up with a draw at full time today. But second half, brilliant. Good 7, 8 out of 10. I feel like an underrated player in the second half would probably be Alan Smith. I thought he was fantastic after coming back from injury. Skilled a couple of players, quite a few good passes. So called from time and done very well.
Brilliant. Dylan, thank you very much for coming on today, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. We've got Toby waiting. I'm going to bring him in very shortly. Firstly is a voice that everyone loves, and that's Vin. Vin, how are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad at all. You must be pretty chuffed with that 1-0 win.
Well, not really, mate, if I'm totally honest. I think we played really terrible in that game.
Tell us what you thought about it, mate.
Well, I think JT could have done better tactics, if I'm totally honest. I think we could have, been a little bit more attacking, because he seemed to be sitting back in that first half, allowing Bristol City to pressure us a little bit. And I think it was just all terrible. Long balls up, just playing really bad football, and just Bristol City just kept attacking us. Luckily, they have bad attackers, because they could have buried like 4, but luckily we have Begovic, who did, really good in goal today as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, what a good save from Begovic. It was on about 22 minutes. I thought it was, Baconson or something, or Backinson, I don't know how you pronounce it, but he had a shot from which he should have done better with, really. But Begovic, managed to sort of palm it around the post. But as Tom said, it is like he's a new signing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really, mate. It is like kind of it is like he's a new signing, even though we've had him before. He just seemed to be better in the Championship than what he's been doing when he was. I know he's decent in the Premier League, but he seems to be doing better in the Championship. And so it's really nice to see him really show his full potential again at Bournemouth.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, what I'm going to do is bring in Toby, who is here as well. So he is next in the chat, and also Max is standing by too. Toby, your mic at the moment looks like it's muted, so you might just need to press the unmute. Yeah, there we go. And if you want to get involved, it's afcbpodcast.com/take part. There's space in the room. We're not going to go on for too long tonight, so if you want to come on, click the link now and get ready to be on screen straight away. Toby, mate, 1-0 over Bristol City. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, mate. I don't know. I thought we played kind of worrying in the first half, to be honest. I wasn't too happy with that. But then second half we showed up. Arnie came on. When he scored the goal, I was out of my seat shouting. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I went absolutely crazy. I mean, I thought it was a really poor first half. As I said, no ball retention up front, lack of quality on the ball, lack of diligence, just doing the simple things wrong. I think, I know you talked about Lewis Cook Morgan, but I thought he wasn't particularly great during spells, giving the ball away, unlike his song. When we're going to see a goal from the lad, I don't know. It was a terrible spectacle, really. And, on that first 45 minutes, you wouldn't necessarily know that we were a team that wanted to get promotion. I think Bristol City certainly looked all right, but not promotion fodder that their early season form showed. And, we've had games where we've played good teams and we've got a point, but when you play, and this sounds like I'm deriding Bristol City, but when you play Championship fodder that's fairly standard, you've got to be getting the wins. And I would have come on here very frustrated tonight with a point, and that would have been 4 points in a row. I'd have been frustrated, almost annoyed, not angry, but just annoyed. But thankfully, Danjuma came on, and Toby, isn't it a great option to have to bring off the bench? Amazing, eh?
Yeah. I thought we were going to get the draw, and I was really disappointed. I was about to turn off the screen, to be honest. Then I saw that little dink, and I was out of my seat. Bloody amazing.
Yeah, it was really good, and he's won a number of points for us, as I've said. And there were some other players that I think contributed in a really healthy way today, including Dom Solanke, player that people always have this 50-50 about him, but I think his hold-up play was quite good. Morgan's eyebrows were raised. We'll come to him very shortly to see why he's saying that. But Toby, what do you think of Dom Solanke's contribution tonight?
I thought he played all right, to be honest. I kind of wish we had a different striker, to be honest. Because I feel like if we had someone, I don't know, like Callum Wilson again, he would be possibly putting in those kind of shots, to be honest. Yeah. Like, I watched the game against Cardiff, and I was a bit disappointed with how often Dom was giving the ball away, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, fair play, mate. So whereabouts in the world are you? I mean, your accent sort of gives it away.
I'm from Tasmania, Australia.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what time is it over there at the moment?
It's 9 o'clock.
So a bit of an early start for you, but it was worth it based on the fact that we got the 3 points, eh?
Yeah, sure was.
Nice one. Toby, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Cheers, Toby. Thank you very much. Nice to have new fans coming on. And if you're a new fan that watches and, thinks that you can't take part, you definitely can. Just a case of going to that address on your phone, tablet, laptop. If you've got some headphones, that would make sound quality better. There's certainly room in the chat. Otherwise, we might even be finishing this in the next 5 minutes or so. So up to you whether you want it to carry on tonight. But one person we are going to bring in is Max, who is there standing by. Max, 1-0 over Bristol City.
Yeah, there's one thing I'd like to say is when we played Watford in the interview, you said to me, right, is this going to be another draw? And then Morgan stepped in and said, we know we're going to win, and we have.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. You know, like old Nostradamus there in the corner. Can you give me the lottery numbers as well, Morgan, for Saturday? That'd be much appreciated. But Max, what are your thoughts on that performance today? It wasn't great. There's bits to work on, but we got the 3 points. How do you assess that?
It's good, but the thing is, when I was watching today, we did okay in the first half, but a lot better in the second. But the problem we had today is the amount of times Bristol were breaking down our passes. They just kept closing us down, and that I think they had a couple of on goal, but we at the last minute, like the 86th to the 90th minute, they kept trying to go forward, but we just broke them down as well. And we second half was a lot better, and I'd like to say fair play to Danjuma from coming on from being a sub and snatching the win.
Yeah, I thought he did really well. There are some people in chat saying that they can't get on. The reason is we have the same link each week to make it easier. Your browser is probably caching because it basically redirects to StreamYard, the software service that we're using. So it's probably remembering the last link. So I've pasted the direct StreamYard link onto the chats on Facebook and YouTube. So if you click that, we will be able to bring you in. And Keith Thomas, I've seen your message saying, oh, there he is. He's actually come in the room right now. So, Keith, I'll be bringing you in very, very shortly. But, Vin, people always love to hear your opinions here on the podcast. And, what would you be doing in the next match against Derby County on Saturday? Because they're going to prove tough competitors, I think.
Starting Danjuma, first of all, playing him, simple player, class player, comes on, scores a goal. You need to start him, really. Can't keep having a quality player on the bench like Danjuma. He's going to go,
At the expense of who? Stanislas?
No, I like Stanislas. I would go. I don't want to say it because I got him every week, but I'm gonna go Solanke. Yeah. I just don't know. I think Josh King just creates more than what Solanke does. And I just think Solanke's a little bit lackluster when it comes to finishing goals and stuff. So it's a tough decision. It's a tough decision from JT next week against Cardiff. But I think he'll make the right one. I'm confident in him making the right decision. If he doesn't, well then I'll be angry. And be angry when I come in next week. So be prepared if we lose next week against Cardiff.
Oh, Vin, love it, mate. Thank you very much for coming on. We're going to cycle around a few more guests. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, mate. Cheers, Vin. Thank you very much. And there's a person in the thumbnail who I could leave him in the same position and he could get arm ache for quite a while, but I can't do it for any longer because he's holding up a shirt. There he is. It's Kirk Tovey, AFCB Gary Neville. How are you, Mr. Tovey?
That's right. I didn't see Alex Hall music in the chat, so hopefully he sees this back. But
yeah, I think he will.
It's a bit of banter between me and Alex Hall. So another game gone, Alex.
Yeah, another game gone. And I was going to leave you just holding that shirt for as long as possible, but I thought that that would be harsh on you. How are you today, mate?
Yeah, I was sore on Tuesday. I'm not going to lie, but I'm okay today.
1-0. Happy?
I can't give you an extensive Gary Neville lowdown today because I missed the first 20 minutes and my Sky cut out right at the end. But from what I saw, Bristol City came with a very simple game plan. And that was to consolidate us, take a draw. If they got a win, it was a bonus. But they were very structured. And I felt like from what I did see was that our tempo was not quick enough. And when you've got a team that's got a good bank of 4 and a good bank of 5, you need intelligent players. If your tempo's not at a good enough pace, you need good players that can then break those lines down. And I feel we only have 3 players at Bournemouth that can do that. One of them is a fit and informed David Brooks. The other one is Danjuma. And obviously the other one is our 6-a-side Cherries player, Sam Davis. So and unfortunately Danjuma came good today. So
yeah. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. You know what? I wish I had a better camera because I don't think those two kind of cameras positioned where I put them, they didn't do my game justice, or yours for that matter. Perhaps we'll get it shot in 4K at some point, Kirk. Max, we're going to cycle around the guest, mate. So, thank you very much for coming on. Before you go, though, I think I need to ask you if you're man of the match.
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my connection cut out then.
That's okay.
Obviously, I'm going to give it to Danjuma because I would not be happy sat here with a fourth draw. So credit to Danjuma for coming off the bench as well, because it's not like he didn't start. He come off the bench. He's like, right, I'm not having a fourth draw here, and he come off the bench and just tapped it in. So
yeah.
Can't
be bad. Nice one, Max. Thank you very much for coming on. And Morgan, we're going to cycle around again. But before you go, highlights, lowlights, where can JT make changes?
Well, after your midweek performance, maybe you should give you a little start. But who knows? No, in terms of the actual, no, in terms of, it wasn't. I'm not going to say it was amazing because it wasn't. I used average after QPR. Tonight, I'm going to say the tempo wasn't quite the Bournemouth way. It's still a bit slow for my liking. I want it going forward. Solanke, I've seen enough. You either hate the guy or you like the guy. I don't like the guy. Yes, okay, he's been better, but tonight I thought again he looks pretty. He just doesn't do it for me. Like, from a striker, if you get an 8 out of 10 performance, and that's like just about okay, but Solanke doesn't.
What did King do during the game, and what did Solanke do? Compare. Let's make a little chart and tip, because for me,
I got a little chart down here.
Yeah, King would have not many ticks during that game, and Solanke would have a fair few. And King's the Premier League striker. He looked League One at times. Just saying.
Yeah, I thought fair point. Yeah, I thought again King looked a little bit trying to do all these little flicks like he's Messi or Ronaldinho, but he isn't quite like that. I think he thinks he's still a little bit better than AFC Bournemouth. Maybe it's best he goes away in January. We'll have to wait and see. That's up to Kin and AFC Bournemouth. But but then you say Solanke did what? Got a few ticks. Apart from that assist, I can't remember him doing anything else.
Well, but then you got to look at what everyone did, and I've got to say that his hold up play in the second. I think the team played a lot better as a whole in the second half, and he was integral for quite a lot of the high moments. When you see the highlights back on AFCB TV tomorrow, maybe not in this short 2-minute whatever they do, but when you go to the website and see the 10-minute stream, I think you'll notice that he actually contributes quite a lot, certainly a lot more than Josh does. And when you see the ball played to his feet from Solanke, he did well to turn on the ball and put it on a plate, and to see, banana foot, like he overplayed it, like into the goalkeeper's feet. Yes, Josh King's unfit, and he's still like finding his feet in terms of fitness. Maybe the Solanke criticism's a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I think I was watching on Now TV with great shout out to you had him on the show not so long ago, Gary Tappard. Very, very good commentary from him on Now TV.
Yeah, Gary Taphouse. Yeah, he's very.
Sorry, yeah, pronunciation.
No worries.
Another Sturridge moment.
No, I thought he was very good. The difference with watching it on the bonus stream on Now TV, you can't take your eyes off the game for a minute. That's where maybe I been a little I'll blame that for my Solanke criticism maybe, but as a man of the match, shout out to it's got to go for Steve Cook tonight. I thought he was outstanding as per normal.
Yeah,
thanks very much, sir.
Mate, thank you very much. We're going to bring in Phil and Keith, and John is standing by. So first, Phil is here, and then Keith as well. Phil, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks, Sam. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Better after that. 1-0.
Yeah, it was a good 1-0. There's I was last on when Tyndall took over, and there's a lot of negativity going on. It was unusual that Tyndall still doesn't know his best team.
Yeah.
I know we got to rotate things, etc. But when it push comes to shove, I think there's going to be a lot of unknowns going on there, because we didn't miss Lerma today, which was good. But the front three is a big thing. King was good, but I still think there's a bit of assault going on there. And how he fits in with Solanke is a difficult issue. If you're going to play in front three, where's he fit in? Left, right, centre, whatever. Stanislaus a bit missing on the right. Brooks can't fit in with those three. You can't play Danjuma with King and Solanke and Stanislaus. So how all these players going to fit together? It's still a bit of a dilemma, which Tyndall really doesn't know what's going on there. That's why he's fiddling between the three in midfield, two in midfield, trying to fit everything together. So I think there's a bit of it's going to be interesting the next few games as to what goes on when we play the better opposition. As we saw today, I think Bristol City are a good side. They're not the best. They're a top 10 side in the division.
Yeah, I mean, Keith, in terms of the formations, 3-5-2, 3-4-3, what do you think Tyndall is looking at more when he's making these decisions? Is it the opposition and how they set up, or is it the personnel that's available to him?
He's not looking at it defensively. I think the three at the back is, I think, interesting that Rico went today.
Yeah.
And how well he played 2 games ago as the tucked in left back. Smith came straight back in, which means he's an automatic. So it's, Cameron Vickers, we have a picture of him. Does he exist? He's nowhere to be seen, but he must be the right-sided backup to the back three. The 3 centre midfield, he knows against certain opposition who are going to press. I mean, Watford, I think he got he got it wrong because, we won, we got a result in the end, but I think we were lucky on Saturday. They're a good side. They're defensively very, very good, and their manager doesn't do goals against. Sort of thing on it. We got lucky, and we pushed and pushed, but we were a bit weak up front. We relied on a centre half firing it into a centre half to knock it in from a couple of yards out. We didn't create anything else apart from that. So the midfield, he knows his back four. So back 5, 3, 5, whatever you want to call it, and that was on display today. The 3 and 3, 2 and 3 will alternate, I think, with away games, home games. I'm not sure whether he knows which those games they are. I think they're more for him at the moment away games and home games, rather than games that he can influence at home and away.
Interesting. Okay. So Keith, what were your thoughts on the performance tonight?
Well, first of all, I'm standing in a podcast with footballing giants in front of me, so let's not forget that.
He's the footballing giant. That one there. Honestly, I can't speak for Phil, but playing with Kirk, ridiculous change of pace, so skillful. He's got a left foot and his right foot. You show him onto his right, and then he goes outside you. You show him on you down the line. He cuts inside. He's fast. He's got pace. Honestly,
JT needs to be on that back phone. JT, there you go, mate.
I think
he knows my number.
About tonight, and the shape as well. I hear what Phil's saying. I think it's depending what the opposition's going to do, because if they're going to pack out the midfield, we've got to contest the midfield. So I think JT, there's some really good scouting going on. I don't know if that's Frano's influence since he's come into the scouting team, but it really has sharpened up, and we seem to know. If it doesn't always go to plan, but at least we have an idea of what they're going to do. So he will alternate depending on the opposition. So that's not so much of a concern. The front three is obviously hasn't decided what his final front three will be. Kingy, I hope he will come good anyway. He was really lacklustre tonight, but Danjuma, is he our new Mark Pugh? I'm going to put it out there. Is he our new Mark Pugh? His creativity, his trickery, he's got all that. All what we loved about Pugh. He just makes fullbacks look silly sometimes. And I think he's young. He's still raw. But if he keeps going like this and being coached by JT and the coaching crew, he's going to be a cracking player. I don't see him going in January, but maybe the summertime teams might have a look at him. But for me, the guy of the season so far has been Cookie. Steve Cook. What a player he is. He's been so consistent. Every game, you know what you're going to get out of him. And he did it again tonight. He looks so strong. And he looks like, in fact, I would say he's like Elphick, what he used to be. That he's the leader. And I would imagine in the dressing room, on the pitch, he just gives that presence. And he's had a rebirth since JT's come on board. He looks really comfortable in the three. He allows Mepham or Kelly or Rico to play when he's playing in the back three. He just gives us solidity. And him and Beggars, what a revelation they've been this season. Yeah. You've got to give it to those guys. And we're not conceding goals. And funnily enough, our goal scoring record isn't that bad actually. It's a lot better than what I think Bournemouth fans think. Because what I've been saying for the last couple of podcasts, we're getting goals across the pitch. And that man Solanke, he's got an assist tonight. So, would I be dropping him? Hate to disagree with the People's Pundit, Vin, but I don't think so. Not at the moment. I thought he needs to play in that deeper role and everything good comes through him. His hold-up play, his little layoffs. He just feeds the ball, and I think the other guys love playing around him because he's so unselfish. Other strikers, and I hope Key comes alive to it. Really enjoy playing off him. That partnership again, that Danjuma was alluding to a few games back. He loves playing off Solanke because he's so unselfish, and Danjuma is the guy who's hungry. He wants to score goals. And I really hope Kingy, give him a couple of more games. Let's see how he goes. Let's not throw in the towel with him yet. But if he can get some hunger, desire, passion, and he wants to get a few goals, what better man off to play off him than Solanke and feeding the... I will go with a front three up top and just loading the gun for the two wide strikers to get in there and get some goals for us. But steady as we go, boys. Steady as we go.
Agreed. Steady as we go. And you know what? Some of the comments that I'm seeing coming through via YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook, they are cracking me up tonight. Some of them are brilliant. It's good to know that Phil's been given a wave. Gary Neville has there as well, and and also some good footballing points as well. Phil, I'm going to make room for John, who's going to come in very shortly. But Phil, thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Cheers, Phil. Come back on again, mate. Really good to hear from you.
Yeah, as long as we can bypass that midfield and get to the strikers quicker.
It will come on, mate. It will come. It will come. Don't you worry about that, fella. See you later, mate.
Cheers, Phil. Thank you very much. And Daniel is standing by as well, but John, we're going to bring in next. How are you, John?
Lads, how you doing? Yeah, good. Cheers.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
And, Keith made a point there actually about us not feeding the strikers quick enough. Or was it Phil that said that? I can't remember now.
Phil said that, but he is right. He is right.
Yeah, in that first half, I just feel as though, what did we lack in that first half? I can't really work it out. There was a lot of
everything.
there was a lot.
For me, it was just John, a game of. I just remember. To me, it just felt like a game of 45 minutes. The second half, the first half, I thought it was a shambles. To be honest, I was thinking this isn't the Bournemouth I've seen play. We had a lot of aimless movement going on, and it seemed to be like it has been in recent games where it's frustrating. People have already used that word a lot, so I'll probably be going over stuff here, but it's like endless attacks and it doesn't really lead to anything. And I remember seeing a ball, it might have been in the second half actually, from Chris Mepham, and it went well far ahead of Solanke, and I thought, what's he doing? It was going nowhere. We seem to have our best play when we sort of play through the channels.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we see enough of it. Do you?
I mean, for me, you can look into it too deep. It can be quite a simple few things that can change tempo. So when you're looking at tempo, because of obviously how Bristol City set up, they were just asking us to break them down. Now, two ways to change tempo is have players on the pitch that can do that. And that's players like Danjuma, bit of flair, bit of forward thinking. The other thing that's going to change tempo is fans, and we're not there, because after 20 minutes, you know what it's like in the stadium. They start getting on the team's back about improving that tempo, and we're not there to change that. And I think that played a part tonight. It's the same for every other team, but we've been in Dean Court enough to know we've seen enough Tuesday or Wednesday night games where tempo started very slow, and we've increased that tempo and helped the team. So, that's what I thought. I thought, I didn't see us really, really losing the game, but we just needed to up that tempo a bit and get balls through those lines, like Phil mentioned. Coming back to the front three, just while I'm speaking about Danjuma, is I don't think we've got to be concerned with the players we've got up top, because there's a lot of skill up there. It's probably the only thing I'll ever disagree with Keith on, because I've got a lot of time for Keith, is that I do think that we need a clinical striker, because this is why we're coming up against some 1-1 draws. And I think tonight, again, Danjuma's bailed us out with a 1-0. We haven't got that natural point up top, and then we can play off of him. And I think Solanke's a brilliant player, said it all along. Another assist, he'll give you that. Brilliant link-up play. He'll hold the ball up for you. We just haven't got that player that's going to notch 2 or 3 goals in a game. And we've got the same scenario on Saturday, because Derby are going to do exactly the same thing. Even more than what Bristol City will do tonight.
I wouldn't disagree with you, Kirky. It's, I could understand the concern about it. Where I would be really cautious, and I have been reading with some concern, is the EFL situation, and football in general is in a real financial crisis. Now, obviously, we've got to COVID-proof ourselves, and I think we've done that. And the January window is coming round. Now, this is the dilemma I think the board has got. Do we go in and spend what we're looking at, Kirk, about 10 mil, try and get a striker in, or do we keep that money back and protect the club, because we don't know if we're going to be in lockdown? We don't know how long this. Are we going to have another season like we did last season, where we're going to be stop-starting? And that's a concern. However, where we're strong is because we didn't go deep in the window, the last window. Clubs now, and I'm looking that. I was looking. This is even pre-COVID. That 90% of outgoings is going on players' wages in the Championship, because everyone wants to do the gamble. It's 110% in League One. And these clubs are relying on football. So I can imagine a scenario, and I think Neil Blake might have been indicating this, is that he thinks that the January window might be key for us, because now clubs who are looking at their finances are saying we might have to sell key assets at less than optimal price. So I understand why people are a little bit disappointed in the last window, and we've gone for the 2 loan deals. There's an element of, with all these things, with risk. But I think the January window, look, they're talking about government intervention just to prop up the EFL, and even in the Premiership, Chelsea and Arsenal's debts are just frightening. And if Abramovich wants to get out, he's an Israeli citizen now. He's no longer in the UK because of his relationship with the Russian government. That it's a house of cards that could just, and that's the thing. So it's an interesting time. I do agree we might need someone more clinical up front, but do we risk the finances? That's the big dilemma. I think really focusing in November, December, and for the January window. So I wouldn't disagree with you, Kurt. But on the other hand, we haven't got a bad scoring record at the moment. And do you have any players in mind, Kirky?
I know you've seen my list.
Yeah.
Mark Pugh got crossed off on Tuesday. I'm down to Jack Wilshere.
Yeah.
So it's not going well. I see what you're saying, and I think January is going to depend where we're positioned in the league, in whether they do go in. Because if we're sitting 4th or 5th, JT might go, I just need a little bit more just to get us over the line.
Up into the championship.
Yeah. I understand what you said about the whole, Leeds went up last year and they didn't have a 20, goal scorer in their team. But when you look on previous years, and I'm not really got this to hand, but I think if you look back when Norwich got up, I think Pugh got 29 goals. 26. So there are, when you do look at it from a history point of view, generally those types of teams who do go up do have a scorer that gets you 20 goals. And like I said, then you have your Danjumas and your Stanislavs that tick you over. I mean, looking at us as a squad, I mean, it's madness really to think that Lewis Cook has never scored for us. I mean, that's poor form. I mean, I'd be wanting more from him, especially when he's playing in a 2. So when you're playing 2 centre midfielders, generally you're going to get forward more often. When he's playing in a 3 and he's asked to sit in front of Cook and, Kelly, that's a different ball game. But today, in a 2, if Gosling goes, he stays. If he goes, Gosling stays. So he is going to get chances. But for me, if we're looking at actually, we're going to need the whole team to contribute. We're going to need for players like Lewis Cook to contribute because we haven't got that Callum Wilson anymore. I know Callum Wilson wasn't the player he was last year, but really he was reliable for 5 years before that. So, that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, I agree with you. The financial side of it plays a massive part. And I think Ivan Toney was a bargain, to be honest with you. 6.5 mil down, 4 mil over 4 years. I mean, I would have took that all day long.
Armstrong at Blackburn, would he be worth having a look at?
Maybe. I mean, I'm not as convinced with someone like Armstrong, but I think Ivan Toney was the obvious one. But for whatever reason, because I still think we probably would have been a better option than Brentford if we were in for him. But I'm not saying there's players out there that we can get score us 20 goals. I'm just making the point that we haven't got that player that will be winning these types of games 2 or 3-0. We're struggling to win games and we're drawing 1-1 a lot, and that's because we're not got that clinical striker in that team. So and Derby's going to be a difficult game. They're just going to sit back for 90 minutes. They sat back against Norwich and they beat them in the 85th minute. That it's going to be another tough game.
Teams going to frustrate us, aren't they? Like a lot of teams seem to be doing.
I think Jeff and Sam made the point in the podcast. A lot of teams are going to ask the question: Can we break them down? And that's respect because we've got a good squad. But if you're playing with a tempo that we started with today, it's going to be a long game.
I think it's more the Watford game. To go back to the Watford game, because I think that sort of highlights this point well, because they were obviously very defensive, but it seemed like we were really caught unawares by it was that Peritza, their player, with that ball in from Sarr. And that's my kind of concern, is us being aware of that. And because we're going to come up against those sort of teams again. We're going to play Watford again. And also teams that do like frustrate us. And I think that happened tonight actually with Bristol. I think they did frustrate us because their defending was still really good and they weren't they weren't giving in. We couldn't see a way through, and I think it took that magic, that masterclass, that stroke of genius from Danjuma to come on. Yeah, and I think it was Morgan made the point earlier. Morgan made a good point, I think, didn't he, when he said like we can't rely on that all the time.
No, we don't.
Especially if Danjuma's like gets injured or something, and then.
But Danjuma, I understand what you say, John, and Danjuma is a key factor. I think actually, Kirk's made a really intelligent point there. Lewis Cook, he's got a mistake in him every game. Now, I think he's a good player, but he's got a mistake in him every game, and his goal-scoring contributions, and I think his assists are not exactly rocking any charts at the moment. But yet he seems to have escaped criticism, where others who get maligned a lot harsher for doing a less wrong, and that's an interesting thing. I know he's been played deep recently, and I think he plays in that deep line playmaker role. But tonight he's in a 2. He should be the advanced man. He should be he should be setting up the assists. So our assists are really coming through one guy. We need a bit more. I know Stacey can set it up, but we need a bit more to help the front three. Play down the channels and playing into feeds a little bit more. So the front three, defensively, we're okay, but the front three, we didn't create many chances tonight. I would like to see a bit more contribution from Lewis Cook, but he seems to escape that. And but like Billing, Solanke, other players just get absolutely slaughtered. And, Solanke's been a solid 7 out of 10 for me every game, really. He hasn't put a foot wrong. Okay, he misses chances, but people say, well, he's a striker. But, hold up a minute. Lewis Cook.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go on, John. Yeah,
are you happy with Lewis Cook's work rate though, or is it just like his final sort of product, really, his end results that he kind of has on the ball?
He's
very rapid, isn't he? He's quite erratic in his
yes,
play, I think.
That's a really good word, John.
He's erratic. Quite snappy. He's a bit like a sort of Jack Russell, isn't he? Kind of just.
He's a mood player.
He's fast. He's very quick and his feet.
Yeah, but he sometimes he's really on it, and he'll close down the play and he'll win balls. But he's also given away a penalty for us. He's also in the Cardiff. I think it was the Cardiff game. He gave the way. There's giving away the ball, and then there's giving away the ball in dangerous positions, and he does have a tendency to do that. But the front three can give away a ball, but it's not necessarily going to hurt you. If you're giving it away in your final third, he's done that. But he, we need to be a bit more consistent in who we're criticising. I'm not criticising this guy. I think he's a solid player for us, and I hope he comes on well. But he is escaping the attention of the Twitterati, who are straight on to Billing. Billing, the Norwich game, he helped us win, and he was great again last outing.
Wouldn't be surprised if we saw him again on Saturday, maybe.
It's an ideal game for him, isn't it?
I thought he would come on today. I thought maybe Goslin, he would sub Goslin. Yeah. I didn't think he had the best game, honestly.
I think JT likes to, as I say, he likes to match up and say, I've got to control the centre, push him out wide. Norwich couldn't cross in at all. And I think that's why he likes to play Billing as that guy that controls the centre of the park, because it forces teams out wide who want to play through the middle. And again, that's good scouting from us. So, but I thought that was a really good point, Kirk, and maybe Lerma's contributing. I'd like to see a bit more. Gozza's contributed. I'd like to see a bit more from Lewis Cook, to be honest.
We're going to rotate and get a couple of others in very shortly. Keith, thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Some great points and some really interesting comments as well on chat. Really enjoyed that, Keith. Thank you very much, mate.
No worries, lads. I won't be in on. I'm not going to be in on Saturday. Pray for me, all Cherries fans. I've got a Brighton fan coming to visit me.
Oh, you don't want that. Well,
There's been lots of tears, mate. Lots of tears.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. That was Keith Thomas there. Thank you very much. And Daniel is standing by, so fingers crossed he'll be in very, very shortly. We can't quite see him. Hopefully, if you can unmute your mic, Dan, and come in, we will bring you in ASAP. There he is. You just might need to press the unmute mic button as well on your screen. There he is, buddy. How are you?
Good.
Good. 1-0 to Bournemouth. How are you feeling?
I'm actually kind of happy, but to me, we had a lot of chances, and I think we should have scored at least 2-0.
Yeah, I agree with that. I detect an accent, Daniel. Whereabouts are you from?
Right now, I'm in the United States, but I'm from England,
Ah, cool, amazing. Whereabouts in the States are you at the moment?
Florida.
And how long have you been over there?
I think for like 3 years.
Ah, cool. So have you been a Bournemouth fan for a long time?
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. What did you like about in terms of tonight's performance, and what didn't you like?
I like that our defense is actually pretty good, and I didn't really like how we had so many chances to score and none of them really like happened.
Yeah, we always create chances, but we're just not sort of taking them. But do you sometimes think though, Daniel, we are just like a game away from absolutely smashing a team 3 or 4-0? Because I feel as though it's coming, and you know what? It could. I thought it might happen tonight. It didn't quite happen. Maybe that can happen on Saturday against Derby County.
Blackburn did it, didn't they? They
Wow,
smashed
yeah.
them 4-0.
Yeah.
I think it was Blackburn. Yeah.
Do you think we missed the likes of Jefferson Lerma, Daniel?
I was kind of like upset that he wasn't there, but it's okay because we never know what the other players have for us. So it was okay that he missed one day.
Yeah, fair enough. Daniel, mate, appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much, mate. Anytime you want to come on and chat Cherries, you're more than welcome. Thank you very much. And someone in chat said there's also an AFC Bournemouth fan behind you as well. So, yeah, very good.
I feel like one player that hasn't... He actually seems to go under the radar a lot is Adam Smith.
You know what? I was chatting to Tom.
I think he's actually been talked about this whole time.
No, and you know what? That's not a bad thing. I think he actually. You know what? The first player I'm going to bring in Ben, and I'm going to ask him his opinion on Smith straight away. Ben, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, guys.
Okay. You might need to talk up a little bit because the volume's a little bit down. So.
Up my nose, then. Is that any better?
Yeah, beautiful view there. Ben, views on Adam Smith tonight?
Adam Smith's a weird one. I like him. I like him a lot. He's been a great servant. He's still more than good enough to play at our level. Play him out of position to accommodate him, not so much a fan of. Then maybe that's me wanting to see more of Rico. And Stacey's looking so good and so powerful. He's like Smith, but with an extra couple of stone on him. And a bit more tank-like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, mate, your microphone is quite... Yeah, it's...
Maybe I should duck out and...
Well, I'll tell you what, though. What I'll do, though, is just ask you if you're man of the match and you're rating out of 10, and then, we'll be happy.
To be fair, I wasn't able to watch the game, but from everything I've seen so far, it seems like Big Cook is a lot of people's choice from what I've seen on social media since I finished work. So, yeah, we'll go with that.
Ben, appreciate you coming on, mate. Yeah, it just sounded a little bit sort of muffly there, so it just meant that I was turning up the volume and having to switch it down again. Right, well, I think we're nearly done. Although Morgan Scott's come back, we can't have you on again, Morgan, because that sets a precedent. If we're doing that, then we'll see you in the next free for all. John, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
No worries. Yeah, it's good game on the whole. Just. It feels like a frustrating win. Do you know what I mean? It's like I want to get a win now, like you're saying.
A proper win.
Sam.
One where we blow teams away.
I feel that 3-4-0's coming. I do. I think it's about time. I think what's the most we scored? And is 3, isn't it, against Blackburn and Coventry? So it'd be nice to get that, but comfortable and get to the end of the game and be like, it'd be nice to win a game in with a lot of the game to go, and not feel like stressed or
agreed.
Yeah, you never know. Some team might feel the force of our clinicality. It might not be Saturday, but it's gonna come.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is just quickly on Twitter. I actually, you know what? I'll give you a bit of time to think, you two, because I've asked for 5-word match reports. So have a think of your own 5-word match report to sum up today's game. And what we'll do is go through some of the tweets that have been sent in after we've asked for your 5-word match report. So you can see them on screen. Steve Hensman, poor quality game, great result, he said. James McCaffrey said, King on goal line, few. Good point. One of Josh King's attributes that we didn't mention was that header from Callas, I think, where he just managed to clear it, and that was certain to go in. Patrick Devitt said, a tale of two halves. Danjuma, flick of magic, he added. Shaw Barker, we need to score more, and then we defend much better now. And yeah, Steve Cook was the epitome of that. 1 sub, 1 goal, win, said James again. Baby Duck, imagine when we start firing. Simon, Danjuma improves the transition. Win. Shiv Mika, second half did the business. Matthew Adams, decent defence, attack needs work. Tommy Evans Poodle, second gear, second place, encouraging. Gavin made hard work of that. Dan slots My Little Pony, said Rob. Bournemouth only score good goals, said Tiggs. Nathan Nichols, better second half, thank God. Guy, not great, but 3 points. Danny Stewart, not that effing good, really. And yeah, food for thought. There are some more, and you can see. Oh well, let's just go through these ones that have literally just come in 14 seconds ago. Steve Cook shines, happy days. Heather, who you know, of course, John. First,
she's a good friend. Yeah.
And what else have we got here? Wise words, much more to come. So yeah. Let's come to you, John. What is your 5-word match report to sum up that game today?
Oh, I was going to say, Kurt, count me out. You're probably best into go, and I'll have
I've got a few
longer to think.
Oh, you got a few?
God, yeah,
I'll
have a bit longer. I'll have a bit longer.
You got a box of tricks linguistically as well as on the pitch, Kirk. Amazing.
Dom assists, but didn't score.
Nice.
We won a football match.
Yeah, like headline writers won't come calling after that one, but yeah, go on.
No, actually, I'm done. I had to.
That's like me on Monday. 5 minutes, I'm out of it. John,
I've got first half poor, and then I'm trying to think of the next two.
Second, maybe.
Danjuma legend. I don't know.
Danjuma legend. You know what? That'll do.
Danjuma's a legend. There you go. It's kind of 6, but yeah.
Was Danjuma has special feet? Yes.
Yeah. Danjuma has special feet. Yeah. Let's think of a word. Yes. Yeah, that'll do. John, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Cheers, mate. Love coming on here. Yes. Thank you, lads.
Thank you very much. And Kirk, nice to see you again twice in a week. I feel special.
And yeah, really enjoyed Monday, and that vlog was amazing. So let's definitely do it again.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, we're going to get it sort of regular for a back of the net thing as well. So anyone who's watching who wants to take part, 6-side, a little down, we'll get something sorted. And just like the free-for-all, we might have to rotate given the fact that, after 5 minutes, I'm done. Kurt, thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers, Sam.
So, right. Enjoyed that tonight, mainly because we won a game of football. If you want to give this video a like, that would be really appreciated. The thumbs up button really helps us. And we're going to be back on Saturday, of course, as we play Derby County. So once again, it was another game where the script was rewritten pretty late on. After Watford, we were all feeling pretty poor on 93 minutes, and then Chris Mepham stepped up, and then we were all, it was happy days, wasn't it? Tonight, we thankfully turned a 0-0 into a 1-0, 3 points, much needed. I didn't want another draw, and it was Danjuma that once again turned up. He came on to really good effect and gave us that attacking edge that was missing for much of the game. Thankfully, we are second in the table. Let's hope we stay there, hey? Cheers for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.